One. Hello, everyone, and welcome back for our last law, the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. And I'm so excited about this entire series, and I don't know whether to cry or celebrate or what, but we've had a great series, and I'm going to bring on our next speaker to kind of close us out on this series. And he and his wife are really good friends of my wife and myself, and we've had the pleasure of visiting in their home, and we look forward to that time. It's a very special time with those folks. Now, Dr. Fran is a retired dental specialist with over 35 years of success in relationship marketing. He has reached the top levels of 4 companies and building teams of hundreds of thousands of people during his career and thrives on helping his team members achieve success. He's also served on associate advisory boards and medical advisory boards in the industry, and he has been a sought-after presenter, trainer, motivator, coach, and mentor, and is a $1 million plus earner in the industry. Now, his wisdom when it comes to the areas of business and marketing is what I look to and rely on every day, and you are in for a real treat tonight as he closes us out in this series, The 21 Laws of Leadership. He often calls me the Wizard of Oz, but I like to call him the Wizard of Wise, so I want to bring on Dr. Fran. Are you there, Dr. Fran?
I am, Casper, and thank you for that very warm introduction. And it's particularly meaningful coming from a leader of your capability and stature. And I really, truly enjoy working with you and being part of your organization, because you do exemplify and employ all of these laws of leadership on a daily basis. And welcome everybody to our call tonight, and we have come to the final installment in our training on the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. It's really been an exciting journey for me, and I love revisiting these. You know, they always say that you never really learn anything until you teach it. So going back over the material is always a benefit and a plus. And tonight we're going to train on the last law, the law of legacy. Can I have the first slide, Casper? Now, the law of legacy tagline is, a leader's lasting value is measured by succession. And Casper, we have a little glitch here. The slides are not. There we go. Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that.
In 1990, that's okay. In 1997, one of the finest business leaders in the world died. His name may not be real familiar to most of us, but his name was Roberto Goizueta, and he was the chairman and chief executive officer of the Coca-Cola Company. Now, the legacy that Goizueta left to the company is absolutely incredible. When he took over Coca-Cola in 1981, the company's value was $4 billion. Under Goizueta's leadership, it rose to $150 billion with a B. Coca-Cola became the second most valuable corporation in America, ahead of the car makers, the oil companies, Microsoft, Walmart, and all the rest. High stock value wasn't the most significant thing, however, that Goizueta gave to the Coca-Cola Company. Instead, it was the way he lived the law of legacy. When the CEO's death was announced, there was no panic among Coca-Cola stockholders. PaineWebber analyst and Goldman Sachs said that Goizueta prepared the company for his not being there, as well as any executive I've ever seen. How did he do it? First, by making the company as strong as he possibly could. Second, by preparing a successor for the top position named Douglas Ivester. Now, what Roberto Goizueta did was a very unusual thing. Very few chief executives of companies develop strong leaders while they're in power and groom them to take over the organization. Too many leaders feel threatened by the success and leadership of their top leaders. So why was Roberto Goizueta so different? Well, he himself was a product of the law of legacy. He was born in Cuba and educated at Yale. When he returned to Havana in 1954, he answered a newspaper ad for a bilingual chemist. The company that hired him turned out to be Coca-Cola, and by 1966 he had become vice president of technical research and development at the company's headquarters in Atlanta. But by the early 70s, something even more important happened to him. Robert Woodruff, the patriarch of Coca-Cola, took Goizueta under his wing and began to develop him as his successor. In 1980, with Woodruff's blessing, Goizueta became president and chief operating officer. 1 year later, he was the chairman and chief executive officer. And the reason Goizueta so confidently selected, developed, and groomed a successor in the 1990s is that he himself was building on the legacy that he had received in the 70s. Next slide, Casper. Goizueta once said that leadership is one of the things you cannot delegate. You either exercise it or you abdicate it. And I believe there's a third choice. That is, you can pass it on to your successor. That's a choice Goizueta exercised. Leaders who practice the law of legacy are rare, but the ones who do leave a legacy of succession for their organizations and do so by doing the following actions. Next slide, please. Just about anybody can make an organization look good for the moment, but leaders who leave a legacy take a different approach. They lead with tomorrow as well as today in mind. And that's what Goizueta did. He planned on to keep leading as long as he was effective, yet he prepared his successor anyway. Next slide, please. The most stable companies have strong leaders at every level of the corporation or the organization. And that's the secret. In our industry, we call it taprooting for leaders, where you literally go down through your organization looking for those individuals that are rapidly coming out of the gate and developing their own personal organizations. The key to success, guys, is to get with that person, that they become part of your 20%, and you focus your time, attention on them at the level that they need, want, and desire. Next slide, please. And we remember the law that there is no success without sacrifice. So any leader who wants to help his organization must be willing to pay the price today to ensure lasting success tomorrow. Next slide, Casper. No matter how good the person is, no leader can do it all alone. Just as in sports, a coach needs a team of good players to win, an organization needs a team of good leaders to succeed. The larger the organization, the stronger, larger, and deeper this team of leaders needs to be. Next slide, please. And the final thing is to know when to walk away with integrity. When it's a leader's time to leave the organization, he's got to be willing to walk away and let his successors continue to lead. Meddling with them only hurts him and ultimately hurts the entire organization. This is the exact rules that I followed when I successfully retired from my dental practice in 1998. I had developed a very strong team within my organization. I had 7 full-time staff, each of whom was responsible for different areas within the overall operation of my practice. And I viewed myself merely as one of the employees of my corporation. We wrote up a complete rules and regulations handbook and job descriptions for each of the people. And when the time came for me to turn over my practice, I located a doctor who had very similar values, training experience, philosophy to me. And he had the ability to come in and not sweep his own broom. He took over my organization. I retired on a Thursday night. We sent out letters to my patients announcing my retirement, and Jack came in, Dr. Thaler, at Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock and started right where I left off. And folks, the true measure of the successful transfer of power was the fact that to this day he has kept 98% of my staff, 95% of my patients, and has grown that practice to levels greater than it was when I left it with him. And I received fewer than 3 calls from him in the course of the next 2 years after retirement where he had a question about any one patient that needed guidance. So that is, really a successful transfer of power and the way to leave an organization and allow the new leader to take it over. Next slide, Casper. Now, the problem is that very few leaders pass it on. And succession is one of the key responsibilities of leadership. Yet, of all the laws of leadership, I believe that the law of legacy is the one that the fewest leaders seem to learn. It's one of the more difficult ones to employ and apply correctly. Achievement comes to someone when he's able to do great things for himself. Success comes when he empowers followers to do great things with him. Significance comes when he develops leaders to do great things for him, but your legacy is created only when a person puts his organization into the position to do great things without him. Now, following the law of legacy often requires a paradigm shift. And, for 10 years, I started to look at leadership in a whole new way. And every leader eventually is going to leave his organization one way or another. We may change jobs, we may get promoted, we may retire, or we may die. But even if a person refuses to retire, we know he's going to die. So that kind of made me realize that part of my job as a leader was to start preparing my people, my organization, and my leaders for what inevitably lay ahead. And by lasting value, I believe, like any leader and like that of any leader, would be measured by my ability to give the organization a smooth, productive, and lasting succession. Guys, when all said and done, your ability as a leader will not be judged by what you achieve personally or even by what your team accomplished during your tenure. You'll be judged by how well your people in your organization did after you were gone. You're going to be gauged according to the law of legacy, like it or not, and your lasting value will be measured by succession of yourself. Well, Casper and guys, there it is, the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. I hope that you learn them, take them to heart, and apply them not only to your businesses, but literally to your life. If you follow them, folks, people will follow you. I've been teaching and training leadership for 2.5 decades, and during those years I've constantly told people that I've trained on something that I'm now going to say to you. Everything rises and falls on leadership. Most people don't believe me when I say that at first, but we all come to know it's true. The more you try to do in leadership and the more you try to do in life, the more you'll find that leadership skills makes the difference. Any endeavor you can undertake that involves other people will live or die depending on the leadership of that group. As you work to build your organization, remember this. Personnel determine the potential of your organization. Relationships determine the morale of your organization. Structure determines the size of your organization. Vision determines the direction, and leadership determines the success. I wish nothing but success for all of you. Pursue your dreams. I want you to desire excellence. Become the person you're created to be and accomplish all that you were put on this earth to do. And folks, leadership and leadership skill development will help you do just that. It's fun to learn to lead. It's important to learn to lead. You must learn to lead, not just for yourself, but for the people who follow behind you. And as you reach for the highest levels, don't forget to bring others with you to be the leaders of tomorrow. With that, I'm Dr. Fran Clark, your partner for success. I appreciate and thank you for your attention in this series. And Kesper, I'll turn the call back to you.
Wow, thank you, Dr. Fran. I really appreciate your time and effort on this. This series has been a huge blessing in my life, and I hope it's a blessing for the people who are on the call tonight and the people who listen to the recordings over the years. So we'll have these recordings available, of course, and folks, this is some really good stuff and really important as you grow your business and succeed in life. So thank you for coming out tonight. Thank you for your patience and your time, and you have a blessed and prosperous year. And my name is Casper Stockham, your coach for success, along with Dr. Fran. You have a blessed and prosperous evening. Bye-bye for now.